There are stories that entertain us. And then there are stories that stay with us long after they end. Tonight's story is one of them. Imagine you're alone in your house. It's past midnight. The lights are off. As you walk through the hallway, you notice a small cloth doll sitting quietly in the corner. It doesn't move. It doesn't speak. But somehow, you can't shake the feeling that it's watching you. Most haunted objects look terrifying. This one doesn't. It looks like an ordinary child's toy with red yarn hair and a stitched smile. And perhaps that's what makes it so disturbing. Because according to the people who owned it, this innocent-looking doll began changing places on its own. Strange handwritten messages appeared inside a locked apartment. A close friend reported a terrifying encounter he could never explain. Soon, the story reached two of America's most famous paranormal investigators who believed the doll should never be treated like an ordinary toy again. Whether these events were supernatural or simply unexplained coincidences has never been proven. But for more than 50 years, one name has continued to haunt the world: Annabelle. Let's go back to 1970, where a simple birthday gift became the beginning of a nightmare. The story begins in the spring of 1970. Donna was a young nursing student living with her roommate, Angie, in a small apartment. Their lives were simple. They spent their days attending classes, studying late into the night, and planning for their future. Nothing about their lives seemed unusual. Then, on Donna's birthday, her mother gave her a vintage Raggedy Ann doll she had found in a local antique shop. With its red yarn hair, stitched smile, and soft cloth body, it looked like an ordinary childhood toy. Donna loved the gift and placed it on her bed without giving it another thought. For the first few days, everything was normal. Then one evening, after returning from college, Donna noticed the doll had moved. Instead of resting against the pillow, it was sitting near the edge of the bed. She assumed she had forgotten where she left it. The next day, she carefully placed the doll back in its original position before leaving. When she returned, Annabelle had moved again. Its arms and legs were arranged differently, as if someone had carefully repositioned it. Donna asked Angie if she had touched the doll. She hadn't. The two friends laughed it off, believing there had to be a simple explanation. But the strange incidents continued. Some days Annabelle was sitting on a chair. Other days it was facing a different direction. Once Donna found the doll in the living room, even though she clearly remembered leaving it in her bedroom. Each incident was small, easy to dismiss on its own, but together they formed a pattern that neither Donna nor Angie could ignore. For the first time, Donna asked herself a question she never thought she'd have to ask. If no one was moving the doll, then who was? She still believed there had to be a logical answer. She didn't know. The real nightmare was only beginning. Donna decided to prove once and for all that she wasn't imagining things. Every morning before leaving for college, she carefully placed Annabelle in the same position on her bed. When she returned that evening, the bed was empty. For a moment, she thought she had forgotten where she left the doll. Then she looked toward the window. Annabelle was sitting quietly on a wooden chair. Donna immediately called Angie. Together, they searched the apartment. Every door and window was locked. Nothing had been stolen, and there was no sign that anyone had entered. The next day, Donna repeated the test. Again, she placed Annabelle on the bed before leaving. When she came home, the doll had moved. This time it was lying face down on the floor, as if someone had carefully placed it there. From that day on, the strange incidents became more frequent. Sometimes Annabelle was sitting in the living room. Other times, she appeared in the hallway or on the couch facing the front door. Neither Donna nor Angie admitted moving the doll. The apartment no longer felt like home. Every evening before unlocking the door, Donna wondered where Annabelle would be waiting. Soon, the atmosphere inside the apartment began to change. The rooms felt strangely cold. The silence became unsettling. Even the ticking of the clock sounded louder than before. Donna tried to convince herself it was only stress. Long classes and sleepless nights could make anyone imagine things. Then one afternoon, she came home earlier than usual. The apartment was empty. Annabelle was sitting on the bed exactly where she had left her. Relieved, Donna turned toward the kitchen. Suddenly, she heard a faint rustling sound behind her. She froze, slowly. She turned around. The doll hadn't moved. Everything looked normal, yet Donna couldn't shake the feeling that someone else was in the room. She couldn't see anyone. She couldn't hear anyone. But for the first time, she truly felt she wasn't alone. And that feeling would soon become impossible to ignore. Just when Donna and Angie thought things couldn't get any stranger, something even more disturbing happened. One afternoon, Donna returned home and noticed a small folded piece of paper on the living room floor. It wasn't ordinary notebook paper. It was an old piece of parchment. Yellow, rough, and unlike anything they owned. She slowly unfolded it. Written in uneven, childlike handwriting were just 2 words: "Help us." Donna immediately checked the apartment. The front door was locked. The windows were closed. Nothing had been stolen. Nothing had been disturbed. Only the mysterious note had appeared. When Angie came home, the two searched every room, but there was no sign that anyone had entered. The biggest question wasn't who wrote the message. It was, how did it get inside? That night, neither of them slept peacefully. Every sound made them jump. Even looking at Annabelle made them uncomfortable. A few days later, another note appeared. Again, it was written on the same old parchment paper. This time, it read, "Help Lou." Lou was their close friend, the same man who had always warned them that something about the doll felt wrong. Donna immediately called him. As soon as Lou read the note, his expression changed. He slowly looked toward Annabelle, sitting silently in the corner of the room. "I told you," he whispered. "There's something wrong with that doll." For the first time, Donna couldn't argue. The moving doll had been frightening, but these mysterious messages felt far more personal. Someone, or something, knew Lou's name, and whatever was happening inside the apartment seemed to be getting closer. Neither Donna nor Angie realized it then, but the next terrifying event wouldn't happen to them. It would happen to Lou. Lou had never trusted Annabelle. From the moment he first saw the doll, he felt something was wrong. While Donna and Angie tried to find logical explanations, Lou believed the doll was connected to whatever was happening inside the apartment. One evening, after spending several hours with them, Lou decided to stay the night and slept on the living room couch. Sometime after midnight, he suddenly woke up. The apartment was silent. The air felt unusually cold. He tried to move, but his body wouldn't respond. His arms felt frozen. His legs refused to move. Even his voice was gone. As panic took over, he slowly looked around the room. Everything seemed normal. Then he saw Annabelle. According to Lou's account, the doll was no longer where Donna had left it. It was sitting at the foot of the couch. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Then, he claimed, the doll slowly moved closer. Unable to move or breathe, Lou watched in terror as Annabelle climbed onto his chest. A crushing weight pressed down on him. The harder he struggled, the less air he could breathe. Moments later, everything went black. The next morning, Lou woke up convinced it had all been a nightmare. But as he stood, he felt a sharp pain across his chest. He pulled back his shirt and froze. Several deep scratches ran across his skin, as if they had been made by sharp fingernails. Donna and Angie were horrified. Neither could explain how the injuries had appeared. According to Lou, the wounds healed unusually quickly over the next few days. To this day, no one has proven exactly what happened that night. Some believe Lou experienced sleep paralysis combined with a terrifying nightmare. Others believe the scratches had an ordinary explanation, but Lou never changed his story. He remained convinced that whatever had attacked him was connected to Annabelle. After seeing the injuries, Donna could no longer dismiss the strange events as coincidence. The moving doll, the mysterious messages, Lou's terrifying experience, everything seemed connected. Realizing they needed answers, Donna decided to seek help. That decision would soon bring 2 well-known paranormal investigators to her apartment, Ed and Lorraine Warren. After Lou's terrifying experience, Donna knew she could no longer ignore what was happening. A friend suggested contacting a medium who claimed to communicate with spirits. Desperate for answers, Donna agreed. A few days later, the medium visited the apartment. After quietly examining the rooms, she stopped in front of Annabelle and closed her eyes. Moments later, she said she could sense the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. According to the medium, the child had died years earlier on the land where the apartment was later built. She believed the lonely spirit had attached itself to the doll, not to harm anyone, but simply to find love and a place to belong. Donna listened in silence. For the first time in weeks, she felt sympathy instead of fear. When the medium asked if the little girl could stay with them, Donna looked at the doll and quietly replied, "If you're only a frightened little girl, you can stay." Nothing happened. The apartment remained silent. Donna believed the nightmare was finally over. But when Ed and Lorraine Warren later heard the story, they completely rejected the medium's conclusion. According to the Warrens, the presence connected to Annabelle was not the spirit of a child. Instead, they believed something far more dangerous had pretended to be an innocent little girl to gain Donna's trust. They warned that such entities often appear harmless, waiting for someone to invite them in. Whether that interpretation is true has never been proven, but Donna had already made her decision. And according to those involved, the strange events only became more disturbing after that. The case soon reached Ed and Lorraine Warren, who agreed to investigate. Their conclusion would turn Annabelle from a frightening local story into one of the world's most famous paranormal legends. A few days later, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived at Donna's apartment. After hearing the entire story, the moving doll, the mysterious messages, Lou's terrifying experience, and the seance, they carefully examined Annabelle. At first glance, the doll looked completely ordinary. Nothing about it seemed dangerous. But after their investigation, the Warrens reached a very different conclusion. According to them, the doll itself was not possessed. Instead, they believed an unseen entity was using it to gain the trust of its owners. The story of the lonely little girl, they claimed, was nothing more than a deception. Something had pretended to be innocent, so that Donna would willingly invite it into her life. Donna suddenly remembered the words she had spoken during the seance. "If you're only a frightened little girl, you can stay." Had she unknowingly made a terrible mistake? No one could answer that question. But the Warrens didn't hesitate. They advised Donna to remove the doll immediately and never speak to it again. Donna agreed. She didn't care what the explanation was anymore. She only wanted the nightmare to end. Ed carefully carried Annabelle to his car while Donna and Angie watched in silence. Ed Warren placed Annabelle in the back seat of his car, and he and Lorraine began the drive home. For the first time in weeks, the apartment felt peaceful. They believed everything was finally over. But according to the Warrens, the most frightening part of the story hadn't happened inside the apartment. It happened on the journey home, because as they drove away with Annabelle in the back seat, they began to believe that whatever was connected to the doll wasn't ready to let them leave. For the first few miles, everything seemed normal. Then, according to the Warrens, the engine suddenly lost power. Ed restarted the car, but moments later, the same thing happened again. This time, the steering became difficult to control, and the brakes felt unusually weak. The car rolled to a stop on a quiet, empty road. Lorraine later said she felt as though something inside the car didn't want them to continue. Ed stepped out and looked at Annabelle. The doll was exactly where he had left it. According to the Warrens, the atmosphere around the car felt strangely heavy. Believing the incidents were connected to the doll, Ed took out a small bottle of holy water, said a prayer, and sprinkled it over Annabelle. He returned to the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine started immediately. According to the Warrens, the rest of the journey passed without a single problem. Whether the earlier mechanical failures were simple coincidence or something more mysterious has never been proven. But the experience convinced the Warrens that Annabelle should never be treated like an ordinary toy. After reaching home, they placed the doll inside a specially built glass cabinet with one clear warning on the front. Warning: positively, do not open. Over the years, that warning became almost as famous as the doll itself. And according to those who believed the legend, locking Annabelle behind glass didn't end the story. It was only the beginning.